Hello everyone, welcome back to Sticky Chris and welcome back to the All Things Philly podcast. This is episode 2 of the podcast and I'm going to be talking about the recent trade package that went down with the Phillies and the Detroit Tigers. So the Phillies sent Matt Vierling, Nick Maton, and Donnie Sands over to the Tigers for Gregory Soto, who is an all-star closer, and Cody Clemens. So first I just want to talk about the whole trade package in general. I was so surprised that this trade went down, because Maton and Vierling are young guys for us. They were good on our bench last year and have come up in clutch moments for the 2022 season. So I was really surprised to see them get shipped. But having a closer like Soto on the team now is very important. He's a great back of the bullpen lefty. He has 4 years of experience in the MLB. He's a two-time All-Star both in 2021 and 2022. And he had a 3.28 ERA in 2022. So he's going to be a really good back of the bullpen lefty. Now talking about Cody Clemens, he's coming off his rookie season. He's 26 years old. He batted 145 with an OPS of 505, so he wasn't really that good. There's not a lot of promise for him, but maybe we can get something out of him on the bench because there's nothing much to him right now. He plays multiple infield positions. He could play first, third, and second. So maybe look to him to be a utility guy off the bench, but I don't see anything happening with him right now. Now going over Matt Vierling and Nick Maton, I'm very sad to see these two go. The daycare is gone. They were two of the biggest young guys for us. Same with Alec Bohm, Bryson Stott. They were all part of the Phillies daycare, and now they're no longer there. They were nice homegrown guys that we were able to develop into pretty good bench pieces for us. And there really just wasn't any room for them. There was no room for them to get consistent playing time. You didn't want to just leave them on the bench because you could still get a decent trade package out of them like they did with Soto. But you couldn't find a way to start them with players like Brandon Marsh in center field where Vierling is. And then in the infield we have Trey Turner, Alec Bohm, Bryson Stott. There was really no room for Maton. So I believe it was a good idea to get rid of them and get something out of them. And I wish them the best luck in Detroit. These are two of my favorite homegrown guys that we've had over the past year or so. And I just really hope they can succeed because I really like watching them play. Now, Donnie Sands, on the other hand, he appeared in a couple games in the majors, but there was really no use for him because of JT Realmuto. Donnie Sands, if anyone who doesn't know, is a catcher we had in the minor leagues. He was fighting for the backup spot, but was beat by Garrett Stubbs, and Garrett Stubbs proved to be an amazing backup catcher, so we really didn't have any room for Donnie Sands. He played AAA, didn't light out in AAA. He wasn't that great, so there was no really any use for him on the team. Now about the bullpen as a whole. The bullpen is looking nasty. We have a lot of good guys. We just signed Craig Kimbrell. We just got Soto in the trade package. We have Seranthony Dominguez. We have so many guys now in the bullpen. Connor Brogdon is looking to have a resurgent year. He's looking to be great next year. He's very young and he's homegrown, so a guy like Connor Brogdon is someone I really want to see. But the whole bullpen as a whole is looking really nice, and it's going to be nasty. It's going to be really interesting to see how the bullpen looks in 2023. They might call up someone like Griff McGarry to try to get some playing time in there. They have some young guys, like Nick Nelson's still there. They got some guys that they can use in the bullpen. And I got to think of... No, I'm missing Jose Alvarado. That's who I'm missing. We got to see how these guys do in 2023. But I'm really excited that we get Soto because it's going to make our bullpen much, much better. Now, where will Soto slot into the bullpen? There's many opportunities that he can have. He can either go in the closer role, but I assume that's going to be taken over by Dominguez, maybe even Kimbrell. He could also go in the 8th inning, but remember, you got Dominguez, Kimbrell, Brogdon, Alvarado. You have so many options now. So I don't really know where Gregory Soto will slot in. I would try to slot him more in the 7th and 8th and leave the closer role to Seranthony Dominguez because I think that this year Seranthony Dominguez is going to be lights out. I think he's going to be great for the team. So look to see Gregory Soto not be a closer for the team next year. Look to see him be more of a 7th, maybe 8th inning guy. Now, before I get done talking about the bullpen, I want to know, is this enough for the Phillies bullpen? Do we need more guys? Do we need to go out and trade for another reliever? Do we need to sign somebody out of free agency, or do we need to call up anyone from our minor league system? Because the bullpen's looking good, but as you can see, you need depth in the MLB. You need more players that can show up and step up for injuries, or if a player is not proving to be what they thought they were going to be. You need depth on the team, and the Phillies especially, who have had a history of an awful bullpen, they need as many bullpen arms as they can get, and quality bullpen arms. So I just want to leave this as a question for you guys in the comments. Do you think this is enough for the Phillies bullpen? Do you think we need somebody, or do you think we should call up somebody from the minor league system? Or is it enough and we should roll into 2023 with the bullpen we have right now? Now the bench. The whole bench is gone, basically. We have nobody really on the bench. We have Edmundo Sosa. We have Garrett Stubbs, but that's about it. We have Derek Hall's going to be filling in for Bryce Harper at the DH spot in the beginning of the year, or that's what we assume. So there's not really anybody we have on the bench. We need to go out and maybe sign somebody, or we need to call up somebody. First, I'm going to talk about if we need to sign somebody. There's not a lot of great bats left, but I would think we could sign somebody like Andrew McCutchen. Andrew McCutchen would be a nice bench signing because he's getting older, he's shown that he can still play, and he's not going to have to play every day, and he proved he can be pretty well in Philadelphia. So I think signing him, if you need somebody on the bench, would be pretty well for the team. Now, there's other hitters like Nelson Cruz, I believe, is a free agent. You could try to do him, but I don't really think that Nelson Cruz would be good for the Phillies. But if you're going to call somebody up from the minor leagues, you don't have a ton of guys you can call up. There's Scott Kingery, who has been struggling the last few years, trying to get back up to the big leagues. You have Johan Rojas, who I made a top prospect video about a couple months ago, and that video blew up almost 3,000 views. So go check that out if you haven't already. But Johan Rojas, he's going to be great. He's going to be really good. I think he's the future center fielder of this team. But I think he's still a little too young. I think 2024 might be the year that he goes in, like, looking to fight for a job. I don't think 2023 is for him yet, just because he hasn't gotten a lot of experience up in AA or AAA. So I don't know if calling him up to play on the bench would be a good idea for his development. Now, last thing I want to talk about in episode 2 of the podcast is, should I bring back the Philly sports rundowns? I know you guys used to like my Philly sports rundowns I used to do. I used to do them on the Sixers, the Eagles, the Phillies. I never got to do one on the Flyers just because I never really knew what I wanted to do, but I used to do them after every Phillies series. I used to do them after every Sixers game. The Sixers ones were in the playoffs, the year that Ben Simmons passed up that shot against the Hawks. I remember doing those. Those were fun to do. And I did about 1 or 2 on the Eagles. And I'm thinking about bringing those back because they were nice, like 10-minute videos I could put out and give you guys a lot of information for the teams. But that's going to do it for episode 2 of the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. I wanted to make it a little shorter this time because last time it was pretty long. But let me know what you guys think about the podcast. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really liking putting just these short, simple, and informational podcasts out for you guys because I really love talking Philly sports, and I hope you guys like listening to me talk about Philly sports. So if you haven't yet, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and leave a comment of what you think about the podcast. Leave comments of what you think you want to hear next on the podcast. Episode number 3 should be coming out within the next week or so, and that's just going to do it for me. I'll see you guys in episode 3 of the podcast. See ya.